Welcome back to All Things ETH. My name is Aaron, and on this channel we talk about all things Ethereum. We talk about projects, play to earn. Specifically lately, we've talked a lot about DeFi, but also NFTs and price. And I'm just going to make sure I'm live over at YouTube real quick before we get too far along here. It does look like we're live, so I'm going to go to my comments. And guys, during this broadcast, if you have any questions about DeFi in particular, I'm happy to answer them. This is live for your benefit, and every Tuesday and Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time in the US of A, I will be going live, unless I mention otherwise in the Discord or on Twitter in particular. Those are the places where we can communicate. In the description below, check out my Twitter feed. I've got a lot going on in DeFi in particular, focusing on airdrops right now and bridging to Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon, and other Ethereum layer 2s like ZK Sync, ZK.money, which is the Aztec protocol, and just trying to get the best yield on my Ethereum in particular. So that's what I'm going to go through today. I'm also going to talk about what I've been up to in the airdrop farming space. Haven't got any real good evidence of airdrops yet, and in this last year has been pretty dry as far as that goes, but there's a lot ramping up. We've got prices ramping up, and I hope to see some verifiable airdrops here in the near future. But let's jump into my screen. If you haven't seen this channel too much before, I've talked about Axie Infinity quite a lot. Got way into play to earn in 2021, and now getting into DeFi more. Definitely got into the DeFi side of Axie Infinity. It's a lot to be had there. It was initially an Ethereum token. It's still an ERC20. All of that, the chain, in particular the Ronin network. But speaking of Ronin continually has been going up in price. So let's check on that real quick. 73 cents right now. Every candle has been green except for Saturday, January 14th, this entire year pretty much. So yeah, two very, very small red candles all year as the daily chart on Ronin to Tether USD. And man, it's been a crazy run from under 30 cents beginning of this year all the way up to 73 cents now. So it's been fun to watch. AXS is also doing fairly well, although all-time highs on AXS is like $150 a coin. We're down at 11 right now, so a lot of upside potential. I do say potential because I don't want to give financial advice in particular. I watched it go from about $47 in 2020 and all the way up to $150-ish in 2021, down to as low as, I think this is the lows, at $5.75 So it's been kind of rough for the Axie Infinity area, but things are coming back slowly but surely, especially with Ron. Ron was launched in 2022. I believe it may be a little bit sooner than that. Yep, 2022 in February, and the price was actually, it was launched a little sooner than that. You could farm it, but it wasn't official until February of 2022, and we've seen capitulation down from about $3. Some of the perpetual futures ahead of the launch were as high as $5.50, so that's all-time highs in my regard. But let's get into some of the stuff that I've been up to. So one thing in particular I really want you guys to check out is Layer 3. Especially if you're unfamiliar with, maybe you're familiar with the Ethereum chain a little bit, but you're getting tired of the fees. Well, Layer 3 really delves into Layer 2s in particular. So it teaches you how to use, or at least gives you very specific links to projects. It gives you kind of like it's like a treasure hunt sort of website. So you click on these, they call them quests, and explore layer Web3 gaming, wage epic battles, and TCME. I haven't checked this out. I don't even know what chain it's on, but check that out if you'd like to. If you're into gaming, the play to earn side of things. I've been going through and getting a lot of the Arbitrum quests done. I've gotten, let's see if my leaderboard, yeah, I've gotten 6,500 XP, which is kind of fun. So you get experience points every time you complete a quest. Each quest has a different variable as far as how many how many points you can get. Some of them are definitely more intense than others, and definitely cost more than others. Be sure to have some Ethereum in your wallet on the Ethereum chain, but get ready to transport it into layer 2s, guys, because layer 3 is all about learning how layer 2s work. Now, how does this help you to get airdrops? Well, the cool thing about this is these are all airdrop potential, especially on chains like Arbitrum that don't have a coin yet. And so that's why I've been spending some time here to try to leave my mark on the Arbitrum space, to use DeFi in the space, to mint an NFT in the space, all kinds of different things to do. And it gives you really specific links on how to do it and some information on how to do things, synthetics. Check this out. This is actually a layer 10. You have some things have some walls where you have to get into a certain level. Like you have to be layer 10 to even start this one, and it won't let you jump. You have to do each step in sequence. And the cool thing is a lot of them will actually check your wallet for verification. So moving forward without actually doing the work is not possible. So you're actually earning the XP in a very real way, and there's nobody to really game the system because it's all on chain. So check that out, layer 3. It's been fantastic to learn. There's very familiar Ribbon.finance, some work you can do there, and that's on layer 1, but a lot of it is layer 2. Arbitrum, anything that says Arbitrum is going to be Arbitrum, and then Optimism, obviously, and then Polygon as well. So this is a great place to start. Just start here. New to Web3, start here. These are super easy to just get into and start playing around with NFTs, layer 2s, beyond Ethereum, getting started with layer 3. So check that out. I'll leave a description in the, in fact, I'm just going to link this specific deal here. And then, oh, check this out. So on your profile, every time you log in, there's going to be a little GM down here that pops up, a little pop-up, if you will. Well, it gives you a streak for hitting GM. So with every GM that you get a little bit of experience, but you also level up, and it increases your chance of getting higher XP on certain quests. So give that a look. Other things that I've been working on. Oh, this is an interesting one. So because I've gotten into Arbitrum and Optimism in particular to farm airdrops, Optimism has done one airdrop already. They will be doing at least one more as of, the DAO goes, and making sure people know about it. There's been quite a bit of documentation done on that specifically. So I came here to just get more familiar with Optimism and Arbitrum in particular. Done a little bit of Polygon. I haven't got into that much yet, so I plan on doing that. But the opportunities are in Arbitrum and Optimism in particular, and then all the dApps on top of those chains, you'll have a chance to possibly win tokens as well. So one thing that I got into recently, in fact last night, I got out of my my pool here with Ribbon USDC. I ended up selling or converting a lot of the USDC that I had made in this pool into, I bought one more Ethereum, guys, and I immediately transferred it over to Optimism and put it into the Pickle DeFi project. So Pickle is very, very similar to Curve in Optimism. So there is Curve in Optimism, but it does not function quite as deeply, if you will. Let's see if this is going to load for me. Don't have my wallet connected at the moment, my Trezor in particular. So you'll just have to believe me. So Curve on Optimism is fairly limited. I think there's only like 5 pools. Most of them don't have really good or any APRs listed, APYs listed, so definitely some stables. So go in there for stables. Curve has been best known for getting you yield on stable coins, but on the Ethereum network, there's been a lot of Ethereum pools as well. So go ahead and check that out. I'm just going to comment on the comments to see if there's anybody around here. All right, so Pickle in particular has a one-sided pool, which is pretty awesome. So in fact, I want to back up just one step. On Optimism and Arbitrum both, you can see these pools here, but in the HOP protocol, which is one of the biggest bridges that works with multiple chains, you get to see all the chains down here. We have Gnosis, we have Polygon, Optimism, Arbitrum. And I believe it's going to be in others as well. I don't see anything specifically here. Maybe they're in other non-EVM chains. But look at the APRs here. So currently we have 12% APR on Arbitrum, 8.5% on Optimism. Yesterday this was a little bit flipped. So I put some more into liquidity into Optimism here. But instead of staking it inside of HOP, which does get a good APR, so when you put your Ethereum into the HOP protocol, it wraps it first, costs about 10 cents to do that, and then it takes that Ethereum and breaks it 50-50 essentially into HOP Ethereum and wrapped Ethereum, and which is useful for HOP to be able to do Ethereum transfers via Optimism bridge, Arbitrum bridge, ETH bridge, Polygon bridge, etc. So what it's doing is giving liquidity to not only to the protocol itself, but also to the opposite chain or the chains that are linked to this protocol, so that it can make synthetic versions on the opposite chains, or have some sort of I guess you'd say synchronicity between the two. I don't know how else to say that. I don't know if there's a term that's used specifically for bridges, but synthetics is the most common in my mind. But what it's doing is holding Ethereum on both edges, but transferring it out and in and back and forth. So I imagine the APRs are variable based on how much is needed, right? So if people are transferring from Arbitrum to Optimism more, you might need more liquidity on the Arbitrum side. So, the variable APY is probably affected that way in particular, but it looks like a bunch of people took advantage of the high APYs yesterday, which was over 9% on the Optimism pool, and now it's dropped to 8.5%, and now we have 12 on Arbitrum. So APY is created based on trading fees, which I believe are going to pay out in Ethereum. So you're getting a 5% on Arbitrum in particular, getting 5% on Ethereum, and getting no trading fees currently on Optimism. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Let me see if there's a glitch here, because looks like TVL is 0, which is not the case, I'm sure. Yeah, there must be a glitch with the TVL in particular, so I'm going to guess that we have some misreporting there, but definitely getting some trading fees on both Arbitrum and Optimism, and also getting that HOP reward, the 6.5%, and then 8.5%. So this is probably why HOP was higher yesterday, because the HOP rewards are higher there. But so these trading fees are really interesting. I wonder why that's going on. So something to look into for next time. Again, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. I'd love to just chat and give you some value back. I'm essentially talking to whoever's listening, but I'd love to interact personally with you if you'd like. Last time we streamed was on Tuesday. It was the very first time I'm streaming. I'm going to make this a regular thing on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and hoping to build this community, help people explore not only the ETH chain, but the layer 2s on ETH as well. So you can claim all your rewards at once, which is a nice thing on Hop in particular. You can get all your APRs stacked into one place instead of having to jump chains back and forth, which is really nice. So we have 5.3 Hop, which is not very much because Hop is like less than $1. I think it's like 20 cents per Hop, but it's only been here in less than 24 hours. Basically, I've made a little bit of rewards. At least I've pretty much, I think, covered my deposits on chain at least. So the gas fees I've pretty much covered, at least on one side of the ETH Arbitrum or ETH Optimism pools that I've put into. Well, okay, so how does this relate back to Pickle? So I've put a single ETH into both Arbitrum and Optimism pools, but then I also put an additional ETH into the Optimism pool. Now, why isn't it showing up here that I have a full, this is my liquidity, right? So Ethereum's at just under 1,600 right now per ETH. So I put it in last night, and I think I put 0.95% of an ETH in both pools. So why is it that I put a second ETH into the Optimism pool. Now, why isn't it showing up? Well, because instead of staking at Hop, I actually staked it at Pickle. So when you go through the process of staking, in fact, let me show you how that's done real quick. I don't have my my MetaMask set up, so I'm not going to go through the whole process, and I didn't want to anyway. But you click here to wrap. You add some liquidity, wrap your Ethereum that comes over on the chain. Whatever you transfer it on, it'll come over here, and then it'll go into the WETH pools or wrapped ETH pool. So it'll convert half of it to HETH, which I assume is Hop ETH. So then it'll provide liquidity to the chain. Well, and then it gives you a liquidity token, which is based on that wrapped ETH and Hop ETH. So that liquidity token is typically automatically put into the Hop protocol. Well, Pickle has found a way to incentivize using that liquidity token over at Pickle. So what they're doing is you have to prove your P-Hop ETH and then stake it as well. So that's your liquidity token is the P-Hop ETH LP. So you deposit it there, and then you stake it here, and then you get some Optimism, some Pickle, and so APY is 13% currently. Let me see if that needs a reset here. Yep, looks like we still have 13%, and that's pretty awesome. So I have basically a full ETH. I think I put exactly one full ETH into the Hop protocol, brought my LP over to Pickle just like I would in the ETH chain into Curve. So I've mentioned that before in some of my videos. It's great to have LPs in a pool. I wish, in fact, that Uniswap did LPs, because then I think there'd be some more rewards. But Uniswap seems to be pretty, how should I say this? I don't know, democratic maybe, or maybe a little bit afraid of getting too degen. So you haven't been able to use, in my research at least, or in my experience, LP tokens from Uniswap into other protocols like Pickle or Curve or whatnot. There's others out there, especially on these L2 chains. There's kind of a fight to see who's going to get the best rewards, I think. But the cool thing about this 13% is 7% is Hop, and 4%, 4.5% is actually Optimism. You get a little bit of Pickle as well, which, who knows what that's going to do. But yes, currently there's no LP rewards, which, excuse me, last night I think this was up as high as 17%, maybe, because we did have some LP from the Hop protocol. So I'm going to have to look into why that is. But that's the nice thing about Pickle on on optimism. So I'd like to actually go into, let's switch over to Arbitrum. I may need to pull out my, let's see if I have to pull out my Trezor for this. Nope. Looks like I can go over to Arbitrum here. Let's go to the Arbitrum pools. Looks like Pickle is available. So let's see if there's actually the same pool here. So look at all these pools. You got all kinds of different, ETH to balancer. What I'm most interested in, guys, and what I think is the safest way to go is either single-sided, like USDC on Stargate. Stargate is a bridge as well, so that makes a lot of sense to have a single-sided there. Stargate is probably going to wrap your USDC and make it available on the other end of in a different chain, obviously, and USDC is definitely one of the most popular things to bridge. I think even Circle itself, the creator of USDC, is going to make a bridge soon, and I believe that's going to be partnered with PayPal, possibly, even put into MetaMask and these sorts of things. So what you should be looking for, though, and in my opinion at least, is either single-sided or like assets. So like wrapped ETH to ETH. What I ran into, and in fact, the reason why I put these LPs or these ETH into the hot pool is because my Kyber swap, if you remember, if you've watched the video about my LSD shootout, I've updated this here. I had some wrap staked ETH versus ETH on Arbitrum in Kyber swap. So Kyber is a similar swap protocol to Uniswap. So when you're using Kyber, you're typically using like a layer 3 situation where if one of the prices move, you could be out of range of getting rewards. So that's what happened to me. I didn't think about it. You shouldn't be doing that in a layer 3 style, and by layer 3 style I mean variable, not one-to-one pool. So wrap staked ETH is slightly different than ETH because wrap staked ETH is actually compounding internally in the coin rather than something like Steth. Steth actually gives you rewards outside the coin, where wrap staked ETH or wrap Steth gives you rewards in the coin, so it stacks inside of rather than giving the coins to you. So Lido gets put into, or actually, sorry, not Lido, but the Ethereum that you're earning with Wrapstake ETH actually gets put into the contract into the value of the token, the Wrapstake ETH token. So the price actually increases slightly because you're compounding your interest within the token, whereas having staked ETH, it does give you more staked ETH, but it increases the amount of the token that you have rather than the value of the token. So little nuances there that you'll want to be aware of, because when you put wrap-staked ETH versus ETH, the wrap-staked ETH actually gains price over the ETH, and it put me outside of the rewards area, and I thought I had a nice little safeguard against any sort of volatility. Like if wrap-staked ETH depegged minorly, I thought it'd be fine, but I didn't think about that, and I got basically the farm failed on me because I couldn't get any more rewards. I had to unstake my LP token that I was farming Kyber crystals with, and then I had to undo my liquidity pool. I had to take all my liquidity out, which cost me fees. Thankfully not a lot because I was on Arbitrum, but it was frustrating, and it put me outside of that earning potential. I was still getting Kyber in the farm, but it wasn't worth, I was maybe 3%, something like that, 5% at most. And I was not going to be gaining on my Steth at that point because it was just sitting there. I mean, I guess it would be increasing itself, but it actually, because the pool is dynamic, it rolled me out of wrap staked ETH and put my position all in ETH because the price had climbed to the point where the threshold had dumped the wrap staked ETH into ETH, and which is an interesting way of transferring ETH. I mean, one thing that if you were following my journey with the in a previous video where I was pooling Ribbon against USDC, the higher the price the Ribbon of Ribbon went, the more USDC ended up in my pool because of its dynamic form of layer 3 liquidity. So the higher the pool had to offset the amount of Ribbon I mean, people were purchasing Ribbon from the pool and giving the pool USDC, right? As the price went up, they were selling more Ribbon, and consequently, I was buying essentially more USDC and selling my Ribbon as the price went up. So something to think about. I hope I explained that well. Please let me know if you have any questions in particular about that sort of thing, because it's quite complicated. I think the world of DeFi, a lot of people have hard enough time making budgets at home, let alone learning DeFi protocols. DeFi protocols meaning they came from the TradFi or traditional finance world, and so DeFi meaning decentralized finance can get even more interesting. And the self-custody bit is really interesting. Personally, I love the self-custody side of this, and knowing where my funds are going, not letting a bank, lend out my hard-earned cash at a 4-to-1 ratio, and hopefully, if I need that cash back when I go back, it's still there. Well, I think the world of DeFi is probably just as risky, just because of, especially if you're doing any sort of lending. However, I think the bigger risk is probably more in the area of like smart contract risk. And in fact, when I was pulling out or unstaking my Kyber, I skipped a step. Instead of unstaking or claiming my rewards, I went straight to unlocking my liquidity pool, my LP tokens, and it kind of freaked out the system a little bit. I think it was unsure of what I was trying to do. I was surprised that it actually let me do that. I was freaked out for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I was making dinner for my kids. My wife was out with a friend, and I was sweating because I thought for sure I had messed up the contract and possibly ruined or potentially completely lost about 2 ETH or $3,200 worth of hard earned and farmed and patiently created wealth here. So that's what we're doing. We're patiently creating more wealth for ourselves to be more financially independent, taking our money and putting it where we think could make the best investments. So anyway. So I have some in Pickle. I'm getting all these crazy. One thing about if you're going to use layer 3, be ready for your DBank account to look something like this. You start getting all kinds of different tokens. This isn't even the half of it. Look at this. Down here we have, I put a little bit of money into GMX, and all of a sudden I've got little tiny pieces of all these different tokens in my DBank account. Little bits of balancer. It has you go through this project and these quests, and you get a little bit of balancer. You get to learn how synthetics works. You get to learn how Avi works, Stargate, Curve, all kinds of really practical, ways to use DeFi, and that's why I highly recommend you check out Layer 3. Now, one last thing before I completely stop and go to any questions. If there's anybody watching, hopefully there is. Let's see. Let's actually jump into YouTube real quick to see if there's anybody watching along with us. Let's see. Let's actually. Oh, we're definitely playing. Is anybody watching? I have no idea. So, one watching now. Hello, whoever's watching. It could even be me. We'll see. But here we go. Let's get back into where I was talking about. Oh yeah, that's right. It's Alpha Drops was really great. That's where I found DBank in particular. But who clued me into Alpha Drops? I believe it was yeah, Shiro here. Shiro is on Twitter. Go find him. It's SHIRO. In fact, let's go and find the exact one because, yeah, Shiro is CryptoShiro _ at Twitter. Really great alpha on what's going on in the DeFi space, but also airdrops in particular. Sign up for or subscribe to Shiro's alphas. It's a great resource. I'll be doing some of the quests that he mentions in his most recent drop here. Is his alphas email mailing list, what have you, whatever you want to call that. He does it pretty relatively quickly. So I think it's on a weekly basis. I don't think I've had more than one or two of Shiro's emails, but they've been great alpha so far. So good luck out there. Try to get yourself an airdrop. Let's see if we can't come up with any questions before I go, guys. Here to answer any questions that you have in DeFi. We start this stream 3:30ish every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. That's 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time in the US. So I think it's probably, heading into pretty late evening, 10 o'clock p.m. in Europe right now. Starting to get into morning in the other side of the world in the next couple hours. Start seeing people wake up in Singapore and Philippines and that. But I'm gonna stick around for a little bit longer. Check. Still good there. So anybody got any questions on DeFi in particular before I let you go? Stick around a little bit longer. It looks like I'm the only one watching. All right, thanks so much, guys, for watching, and we'll look forward to going live again on Tuesday at 3:30. I'll leave this up for at least a week before I take it down. I'm going to try and delete these as they aren't as polished as others. Maybe I'll make some content out of them, but thanks for watching, so much for watching. Check out more of my videos, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter for more things ETH and Layer 2. God bless.